All right, let's talk about home comfort. Are you tired of those crazy energy bills? You know, the ones that seem to go up no matter what you do? Or maybe you've got that one room that's always freezing while another is just too hot. Well, if that sounds familiar, you're definitely in the right place. We're going to break down the big three in modern heating and cooling: ducted, ductless, and hybrid. The goal here is to help you figure out what makes the most sense for your home.
I mean, we've all been there, right? It's the middle of winter, you open that utility bill and that sinking feeling. Well, a huge chunk of that cost, it's often coming straight from old, inefficient heating systems that are just struggling to keep up.
So, let's get personal for a second. Think about your own place. Does the TV volume have to go way up the second the furnace kicks on with that loud whoosh? And what about those temperature battles? You know, freezing bedrooms but a sweltering living room? These aren't just funny little quirks of your house. Nope. They're actually big, flashing signs of an outdated system.
And hey, this isn't just me talking. Check out this quote from a real homeowner. It sums up the frustration perfectly. They said their old system was loud, dusty, and pricey to run, leaving some rooms too cold and others too warm. I bet that story sounds pretty familiar to a lot of people out there.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, let me introduce you to the heat pump. And look, this isn't just a slightly better furnace. It's a totally different and much smarter way to think about heating and cooling. And you know what? The tech behind it is actually pretty simple.
So here's the big aha moment. Your old furnace, it's basically a heat factory. It has to burn fuel, like gas or oil, to create heat from scratch. A heat pump, though, it's more like a heat taxi. It doesn't create heat, it just moves it. It finds the heat that's already in the outside air and simply brings it inside. That one little difference is what makes it crazy efficient.
So here's how that heat taxi actually works. You've got an outdoor unit, and its job is to pull heat out of the air. And yes, there's heat in the air even when it's cold outside. Then, a special refrigerant zips that heat indoors to the inside unit, which then warms up your room. But here's the cool part. In the summer, the whole thing just reverses. It grabs the heat from inside your house and moves it outdoors. So you get heating and air conditioning from one super efficient system.
Okay, so let's say you're on board with heat pump tech. Awesome! But now you've got a big decision to make. How do you actually get all that comfy air into your rooms? And that brings us to the main event, the choice between a ducted system and a ductless one. All right, let's put these two head to head. On one side, you've got ductless systems. You might have heard them called mini splits. They are super efficient and give you that amazing room-by-room control. On the other side, you've got the more traditional ducted heat pumps. They use a single thermostat for the whole house, but, and this is a big but, they can lose a lot of energy through those ducts. And as you can see, there are big differences in air quality and noise, too.
Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I don't want some big, ugly box on my wall. And you know what? I get it. But the days of those clunky old units are long gone. The new ductless units are actually really sleek and discreet. You can mount them high up on a wall where you barely notice them, or even get ones that sit flush with the ceiling. They're designed to blend right in. Okay, I want this next number to really sink in. 30%. That's how much of the air you're paying to heat or cool can just disappear through leaky old ducts. That's like paying for a full tank of gas and just pouring a third of it onto the ground. It's energy and money that literally never even reaches your living space. With a ductless system, that waste just goes away. But okay, what if you're kind of torn? You're thinking, I love the idea of that targeted control for the bedrooms, but I really like the hidden vents I have in my living room. Does it have to be all or nothing? Absolutely not. For that exact situation, there's the hybrid solution. It's the best of both worlds.
The idea here is super clever, but also really simple. A hybrid system uses a central ducted heat pump for your main open areas. Think the living room and kitchen. But then, for places like bedrooms or maybe a home office, it adds separate targeted ductless units. You're basically putting the right technology in the right place, exactly where it makes the most sense.
And the benefits are pretty awesome. You get that feeling of whole home comfort, but you also get that pinpoint control right where you need it most. It's a great way to maximize your energy efficiency, and you get to keep that traditional look with hidden vents in your main living spaces. Plus, and this is a big one, it lets you upgrade your home in stages, which can be a lot easier on the budget.
So, this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in a real home? Let's check out a case study from a homeowner on Whidbey Island who made the switch from an old furnace and see what happened.
Yeah, that's the number that makes everyone sit up and pay attention. 50%. This homeowner literally cut their utility bills in half just by swapping out their old energy-guzzling furnace for ductless heat pumps. That is just incredible.
But you know what? The money was just the beginning. The homeowner also said the house got way quieter, and the air quality, so much better thanks to the system's filtration. They even mentioned that it made a huge difference for a family member with allergies. We're not just talking about saving money here. We're talking about a massive upgrade to their quality of life.
And this is the outdoor part of the system. This is the quiet little engine that makes it all happen. It's so much more compact and efficient than those big, loud furnace units that a lot of us have sitting outside our homes. And in the end, the homeowner's own words really say it all. They called it a game changer. I mean, what a perfect word, right? It just nails those two huge benefits we've been talking about. They're super quiet, and they give you that precise zone-by-zone comfort that old systems just can't touch.
All right, so we've looked at the tech. We've seen the real-world results. Now for the big question. What does all this mean for you? How do you figure out which path to take? Let's boil it all down to a simple guide.
Okay, here's the simple breakdown. If your top priorities are maximum efficiency and having total control over each room's temperature, you're going to want to go ductless. Now, if you already have good modern ductwork in place and you like that traditional hidden look, then a new ducted heat pump is an awesome upgrade. And if you hear all that and think, I want a little both, well, that's what the hybrid system is for. It gives you that perfect, flexible balance.
Look, picking a new heating and cooling system is a big deal. It's a decision you're going to live with for like 10, 15, even 20 years. It affects your comfort and your wallet every single day. So the final question I'll leave you with is this. Is the system you have right now really ready for the future?
Just so you know, the information and case studies we talked about today came from materials provided by Island Ductless Heat Pumps. Thanks so much for tuning in.